Welcome to the channel. My name is Eleanor. Thank you so much for being here um, at Eleanor's Business, where I motivate you, I mentor you, and I give you some good advice about how to open up a storefront or any kind of business. It's a lot of the same thing, except for the food health department area. Everything else is pretty much the same thing. So no one's gonna do it for you. I did it. I did it all on my own, and it was kind of scary to do it. But if I could do it, I know people say that, but I really like. If I could do it, you definitely could do it. So let's get to the topic today. Today is step three on how to start a business. Step three. So step one, business plan and your idea and the financials. Step two is going to the bank and getting your money. Okay, most of you will gonna get some money from the bank. You don't have, 100, 200, 300, 400,000 in your pocket. Got to go to the bank. You have to have 20% down. Some of you don't really need to go to the bank. You would have been very smart and followed my tips on step two. The bank. Look at that video. Step three is, what do you do once you have your money? Well, what you do is you do the build out. So the build out is step three. So what you have to do is you have to go back to your builder and say, let's start. Let's start. You would have had to have a contract in place. If you don't, then have a contract in place. This is what it will actually cost me to do business with you as a builder. What are you going to give me and what am I going to get and how much do I have to pay? Make sure when you do the build out with whoever you're giving money to, if you're giving money to somebody like a builder or the landlord, if you are giving money to somebody, landlord, yeah, if you are giving money to somebody, make sure in your contract you have like they get, in process work. So they might get half now, right? Half when they begin, and then they'll get, 30% when, you know, when all the electric, all the plumbing, all the permits have been obtained. Okay, because that means they're halfway through. And then they'll get the rest of the money once they've got the occupancy. Um, they've got the permit, occupancy permit, which means we are ready to do business and everything is done. And they may have, once they have that, you may release all the money, but just do it in sections. So do it in section. Ask them when will you be halfway filled? Could it be when all the cupboards are up? Could be when you start having electrical permits complete. Um, maybe once you have the electrical permit, you can say we pay 80%, but don't pay it all because some people, if you're difficult to deal with, whatever may walk out. So don't ever do, and make sure you have a contract signed by them and you that you have in your possession of what you're going to get. And the build out should really take, um, 2 months, no more than 4 months. If it takes more than 4 months, something's up because these aren't like major things. You're not building a whole like 20 building build out. Like you're just doing a little store with putting some electrical in. So you're going to start the build out. So the next step is starting the build out. What is the process for that? You're going to need your contract with the builder. You're going to need to go look for a sign guy and go to the management people and ask for specifications on what your sign should look like. The landlord or the management company who takes your rent, collects your rent, will tell you the specifications for that area. And you give those specifications to the sign people and say, follow them to a T. Make sure you have a contract that if they're not followed, that you get your money back. Very important. My first sign guy didn't do a good job. You could barely see it. Now looking back, um, it wasn't a big deal, wasn't a big area. But this area here, when I moved to Virginia Beach Town Center, they wouldn't have accepted that sign. They wouldn't have accepted my old sign. See, that's my old sign. Oh, that's the second sign I got once I got them to finish the first sign. So make sure you kind of have contracts for everything, that they follow the rules. That's really important. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to get an architect. If you're dealing with a builder and you're doing a build out, meaning you don't have a hood, you don't have electrical, you don't have like a service area in place, and you don't have water running, a toilet area, if you don't have anything, if it's like a gutted area, then you're going to need a builder to do it, unless the landlord's going to do it for you, if you have that agreement. Whoever is doing it, you're going to need an architect. If it's the builder doing it, they usually have their own architects they deal with. So once you've picked a builder, they have their own. This is not their first rodeo. They have a bestie that they get all their work done with a fraction of the cost, most of them. Some of them are like architect qualified, but they're not full architectural, but they pass the architectural screening. So they charge like 2 grand as opposed to like 4 or 5 grand for the same job. So allow the builder to use their own. Don't like, you're not anyone special with 100 stores. Like just let them do what they do. And all they're gonna do is ask you where you want everything. So you're gonna get a piece of paper like an old little kid, and you're going to say, okay, this is the front of the house. So I do a line in the center, or wherever I can have only a little service area or a big service area. You have to have the kitchen. The architect will specify, they will know all the specifications of how big. Try to get the least amount of space available. So, meaning, try to have like 800 square foot, 900 square foot, 1000, 11, 12. Anything above 12 is too much for a little bakery cupcake. It's way too much. Way too much. And you're going to throw money down the toilet and you're going to go out of business. Or you're going to be like me and you're going to throw money down the toilet, but you're still in business. So you just write down, you just draw where you want your fridge, where you want your oven, have your little work area where you're going to wash your hands, where an employee is going to sit and have a coffee or tea, for their break. If you have employees, they're going to need to sit somewhere legally. So is it that at the front of the house or is that in the back of the house? You're going to have a little table and chairs. What are you going to have? You know what I mean? Um, so you have to do like just a little drawing of the build out and give it to your architect and say, this is what I want. And then they will refine it. They'll also ask you about all the electrical, where you want everything. Where's your big mixer? Where's your little mixers going? That kind of thing. Where's your water heater going? Water heater and all that is kind of dependent on plumbing. So the architect will pick that for you. Um, yeah, so the other thing is you're going to need to do that with the architect. The other thing is once you have that in place, you're going to need to go and look for all your equipment for the in the build out. So you're going to go get a fridge, a freezer, a cash register. If you're going to deal with coffee, you're going to have a coffee machine. You're going to, get your little display case. You're going to have to start chasing that up. Now, a lot of the turnaround time when you're placing orders for that stuff is, could be 3 4 weeks, maybe a couple of months. So you got to get on that fast. Okay, you got to get on that fast. So the third step is really all the building space specifications. Okay, and that process will usually take 2 months. So once you've started and you've said yes, you're going to kind of do okay, this will take 2 to 4 months, and then do a start date. If it takes 2 months to do, make sure you ask, unless you're in a hurry and you need money fast, take a little longer. So if the build out's done in 2 months, whatever they say, add a month or two to it, and then tell the management company that that's when your start date is. That means that's when you're going to have your grand opening. That's when everything's going to happen for you. You really should give yourself a little bit of time to come into your store and put everything in place, decorate, do whatever. Make sure everything's functioning, make sure your internet's working. All of that should happen 2 weeks to a month before you have your grand open date to the public. Okay, that's really important. The public don't see like soft opening. That's your excuse for not having your shit together. The public just see grand opening, meaning that's when you open to start. That's the mental awareness you should be going with. That's how you should be doing it. No, I do a soft opening, then I'll open a month later. No, no, people think you're out of business. So whenever your grand opening is, that's when you open for real. Okay. So make sure everything is in place. That is your third step. The build out is very, very important. Okay. The fourth step is make sure you have your employees in place. So we're going to do another video on employees next. Okay, so look out for that sometime. And that is hiring employees, how to do everything, how do you get your employees, and um, all the paperwork you need for them, the contracts, whatever you need, and whatever you need with the government. So that is a very big topic. Employees is a big topic, and that is step 4. So I hope you enjoyed step 3. It's very cumbersome. Okay, it's your architect, it's your building, it's your build out, it's you decorating and designing, right? Decorating and you're designing your area. It's making sure you get your equipment for your space. Now that you know where your space is, make sure if you heed nothing, get the smallest amount of space. Do not buy into more unless you're getting a full blown restaurant. Okay, they consider cupcake shops, bakeries, crepe places. They consider all these as restaurants. They consider them as retail locations. That's how the bank sees you. And they don't see you very favorably. They very rarely, the bank will give money to restaurants because they don't see you favorably because they know that you will go out of business. And the likelihood of you going out of business is very high, 70 to 80% in the first year. It's extraordinarily high. In the second year, I think that it goes up. So uh, if you've made it, they say if you've made it by, they meaning Google, if you've made it by the third year, you've got it down packed. You're in a flow. You've got it going on. So if you made it by the third year, things are really good, and it's all about strategy and honing into your craft and honing into your art. If you haven't burnt out, hope this helps.